Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, Professor of Obstetric and Gynecology, Faculty of Medicine. Honestly, I'm very, very nervous. There are so many prominent and inspiring figures all gathered in one room today. But before we begin, let's go through a few housekeeping rules. For those of you in the hall, kindly ensure that your phone are put into silent mode. Kindly rise from your seat for the arrival of our guest of honor, Young Berusaha Professor In Senior, Dr. Kaharudin Dimyati, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research and Innovation, University Malaya, and when our national anthem Negaraku and the University Malaya song are being played. Lastly, please stay back after the lecture for our photography session here in the hall. For your kind cooperation and participation is deeply appreciated. For our online viewers, we invite you to drop your greetings and words of encouragement in the YouTube section right below. We will begin shortly.
Dua 40. So nanti queue saya bersana, saya thumbs up terus. Family and Tolong juga saya. Cepat saya.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, please rise from your seat and join me in giving a heartfelt welcome to the family members of Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan. Now, I would like to welcome the arrival of Yang Berusaha Professor Insinyur Dr. Kaharudin Dimyati, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research Innovation at University Melayu. Please be seated, everyone. Sebelum kita meneruskan majlis yang penuh bermakna ini, izinkan saya memulakan dengan serangkap pantun sebagai pembuka bicara dan penyeri suasana pada hari yang indah ini. Langit cerah mentari menyinar, menyambut tetamu dengan mesra sekali. Profesor Aizura tokoh tersohor dan pintar, inspirasi kami di jalan ilmu sejati. Selamat datang ke Syarahan Perdana Profesor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan pada hari yang penuh bermakna ini. Dengan izin para hadirin sekalian, benarkan saya meneruskan majlis ini dalam bahasa Inggeris. Ladies and gentlemen, a warm welcome to this auspicious occasion, the inaugural lecture of Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, held under the prestige Faculty of Medicine, University of Malaya. We are deeply honored today by the presence of Yang Berusaha Professor Insinyur Dr. Kaharudin Dimyati, Deputy Vice Chancellor Research Innovation University of Malaya, Yang Berusaha Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, Professor of Obstetric and Gynecology, Department of Obstetric and Gynecology, Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya. Yang berbahagia Profesor Datuk Dr. Yang Faridah Abdul Aziz, Dean Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya, Management of Faculty of Medicine and University Malaya Medical Center. Tan Sri Datuk, Professor Emeritus, Professors, Doctors, distinguished guests, ladies, gentlemen, not forgetting colleagues, students, both in Jemalang Hall and joining us online. I am Dr. Jerelia Azahari, your MC for this meaningful afternoon as we celebrate the journey and the achievements of an inspiring figure, Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan. To begin our ceremony, I would like now to invite Dr. Shafiq to lead us in the recitation of the Doa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Let us start our prayer recitation with Ummul Kitab Al-Fatihah. Amin amin ya Allah. Allahumma ya Rahman amin rahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala ashrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. ربنا اغفر لنا ولإخواننا الذين سبقونا بالإيمان ولا تجعل في قلوبنا غلا للذين آمنوا ربنا إنك رؤوف رحيم. اللهم يا رحمن يا رحيم. Praise be to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. Peace and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and his companions, and for those who follow his example till the judgment day. Allahumma ya Aziz ya Azim, on this blessed day, in conjunction with the inaugural lecture of our inspiring mentor and educator, Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, we beseech thee to make us ever grateful for the infinite blessings bestowed upon us, your humble servants, that we may live safe and prosperous lives. We seek your blessing for a flawless progress of this lecture from the beginning till the end. We seek your divine guidance to help us avoid any circumstance that may hinder the success of this event. Allahumma ya Latif ya Hakim. Ya Allah, our educators have devoted themselves to nurture and guide us towards success. Grant them abundant rewards for their sacrifices and steadfast commitment in sharing knowledge. Please bless us with the tawfiq and hidayah. Please guide us to greatness, peace, glory, and prosperity in this world and the hereafter. Make us a responsible intellectual. Grant us available knowledge that will be beneficial to mankind in order to gain your maradatillah. Make us your righteous servant that follow your commands and neglect the sinful act. Please forgive us for our wrongdoing. Ya Munzil al-Barakat, bestow peace to our beloved institution and country. Preserve us from any threat and disaster, neither man-made nor natural disaster. And to you, Ya Allah, we ask for security and prosperity upon us, our educator, and our country. Bestow upon us the virtue of patience that we may face every trial you place before us with faith and perseverance. Please accept our deeds and please reward us accordingly. Allahumma la sahla illa ma ja'altahu sahla. Allahumma ja'al jam'ana hadha jam'an marhuma wa tafarruqana min ba'dihi tafarruqan ma'suma wa la taj'al lillahumma fina wala ma'ana wala man yatsba'una shaqiyan wala matruda wala marhuma. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. صلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shafiq. In every heart where dreams take flight, courage blooms from day and night. Resilient roads the soul will pave for those who dare and those who brave. A professor's inaugural lecture stands one of University Malaya most cherished tradition, a reflection of a professor's lifelong education, research, and service. Today, we honor Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, whose pioneering work in obstetric and gynecology, especially in the field of minimal invasive gynecology surgery, has transformed and advanced women's health in Malaysia. Her lecture titled From Rogue Beginning to Resilient Roads, a case of a determined dreamer, tells a story of courage, conviction, and perseverance, a journey that began with bold defiance against convention and grew into a legacy that shaped the field of gynecological endoscopic nationwide. It is a story that reminds us that true innovation often begins with a daring to dream and daring to be different. Without further ado, I would like to invite Yang Berusaha Professor Insinyur Dr. Kaharudin Dimyati Deputy Vice Chancellor of Research Innovation, University Malaya, to chair today's lecture, introduce our distinguished speaker, Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan. Please welcome, Professor.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good afternoon and salam sejahtera. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, Professor of Obstetrics and Gynecology. I hope I pronounce it right. Department of Obstetric and Gynecology, the Faculty of Medicine. Yang berbahagia Prof. Datuk Yang, Dean Faculty of Medicine, Management of the Faculty of Medicine and University Malaya Medical Center, Tan Sri, Datuk-Datuk, Profesor Emeritus, Professors, Doctors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen who are joining this inaugural lecture virtually and physically today. Welcome. It is such a warm occasion, I guess, this afternoon. Yeah, I think I have chaired 3 or 4 sessions before, and this is the most warmest, I guess. This case, full house. Yeah, full house. Congratulations to Prof. Wow. Okay, let me introduce Prof. Aizura. So it is my honor to introduce Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan, a clinician scientist, educator, and surgeon whose career is defined by courage, conviction, and compassion. Professor Aizura is a proud product of University Malaya, same as me. Where she completed her Master of Obstetrics and Gynecology before pursuing advanced training in gynecology endoscopy and minimally invasive therapy across Taiwan, Japan, Belgium, and also Oxford. An advocate of laparoscopic and hysteroscopic innovation in Malaysia, she founded the Gynecology Endoscopic Society of Malaysia, and later contributed to the National Minimally Invasive Gynecology Surgery Certification Programs. Her scholarly work with more than 45 peer-reviewed publications has helped position Malaysia MIGS within the global conversation. As an educator, Professor Aizura has spent over a decade shaping surgical training through hands-on programs in laparoscopy, hysteroscopy, and microwave ablation, many of which are now being formalized as micro-credentials within University Malaya's MIGS pathways. Her leadership extends beyond the operating theatre. She has served 2 terms as a University Senate member and as President of the University Malaya Medical Alumni Association, where she revitalized alumni engagement and mentorship. During the COVID-19 pandemic, as college mistress of Avicenna Residential College, College ke-6, she led with compassion, overseeing students' welfare and complex quarantine operations, while co-founding the Meal Aid Organization to support food insecure students. Congratulations, Prof. And today, she continues to champion empathy-based leadership and patient safety through her work with the Health Culture Task Force of Mandailing Acehnis Heritage. Professor Aizura attributes her strength to her parents. Her parents are here. Dr. Ahmad Adlan Nuruddin and Puan Aziah Amiruddin. Mungkin boleh stand up sikit. Yeah, her parents. She is married to Professor Dr. Abdul Halim Abdul Ghafur, also here. Mungkin Prof. Halim? Now he is the NCAA of UKM. And together they are blessed with 3 children, Iris Sazia, Adlan Ghafri, and Alana Shafia. Ada semua? Alright. Wow, these are the 3. Whom she fondly calls her life's most enduring citations. And now, it is my pleasure to invite Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz Ahmad Adlan to deliver her inaugural lecture titled From Rogue Beginnings to Resilient Roads, a case of a determined dreamer. With that, over to you, Prof.
Be still my heart. Okay, let's go. Dia ada loading problem sikit. It's okay. Loading.
Saw him dancing there by the record machine. He must have been about 17. The beat was going strong. Playing my favorite song, and I could feel it won't belong. So he was with me, yeah, me. And I could tell he won't belong.
You know the song? Sing along.
Yeah, me. Singing, I love rock and roll. So put on the time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come and take your time and dance with me. So I got up and asked for his name. It don't matter, you know, 'cause it's all the same. I said, can I take you home where we can be alone? And I could tell we're moving on. He's with me, yeah, me. Next we were moving on. He's with me. Everybody say, I love rock and roll. So put on the time in the jukebox, baby. I love rock and roll. So come take your time and dance with me. Come on. Can I just say something? I promise I won't talk too much.
Yes, of course.
I like to talk a lot. Tapi, okay, so I've only just... Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. Such a privilege. So I've only just met Prof dalam pukul berapa tadi about?
Yeah, 11:30.
11:30. And straight away the thing that what's the word? Oh my goodness, I'm lost for words. The thing that I found about her is that she's a really fun, sempoy, rock chick. Betul? So I am truly honored to be standing here, and I think that you've done so much, and you deserve a super huge round of applause for everything that you've achieved and everything that you continue to do. Okay, I promise I'm done. Boleh?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jacqueline. Thank you so much. Okay, that was supposed to wake you up. Okay. So to understand the significance, can we have the lights dim a little bit? Thank you. To understand the significance of Malaysia's current position in global endoscopy, global gynecological endoscopy, we must first examine the foundational era that established the field. So if you see the endoscopic intra-abdominal surgery book written by Kurt Sem, that's my father's book. And by that time, I was reading the Manual of Gynecological Laparoscopic Surgery written by Watiès. But in the center is my scalpel set that I bought, well, my parents bought for me when we were in Singapore when I was 9. So I still have that. Why? Don't ask. But that was not the actual dream job. My first dream job was to be Mazwin Hamzah in Queenery M. You know? That was that. I wanted to be a singing drummer. You know, how cool is that? Right, and so you know, but then again, rock and roll and discipline and working has always been part of my life, you know, both essential to who I am. So this is the thesis of my life, but the beginning of this book. So if you're cool, then you would know that this is a reference to Abbey Road, which is of course explained in the book. Obstetrics is the first thing that most ONG trainees fall in love with, followed by the quest to learn laparoscopic suturing, and then the lady laparoscopy is the icon of my workshops, and of course the future is robotics and AI. Okay, so Rogue. Okay, cukup. That's done. All right, okay, so Act 1, the Rogue era, fire before the flame. So in 1969, my parents met in University Malaya. That time, medicine still smelled of ether and optimism without medical legal issues. My father was a mild-mannered, dry-wit, tongue-in-cheek man, third-year medical student, and my mom, a bright-eyed arts faculty student, who actually volunteered in the kitchen during the May 1969 emergency. So, yeah, they met at the ballroom dues that used to have. Okay, that's the invitation card, in fact. She still keeps them. And back in the day when we used to have fun, you know, all right. So my dad actually was walking and he saw my mom coming to CSH, Clinical Students Hostel at that time, and cancelled his plans to go for a movie with Uncle Zaha and Zain, and decided to go for the do. Eyes locked, one twist and shout probably later, secret admiration turned into a promise. So they graduated in 1972, which makes my father 4th batch MBBS Malaya. And my mom graduated at the same time. And you see, the thing is with my mother, she is very decisive. Despite getting a BA Honours and offered to do a Master's, her reply was that I'd rather be a Mrs. than a Master's. So yes, so they got married in 73, and that was my first study in love, that love at first sight actually exists. That was my first study. This is somebody who is very important to me. Can we have the sound on, please? Can we have the sound on? Kenapa sound tak on? Technical problems happen every 5 seconds in this place, I tell you. I'm trying to keep calm. Are we good? Are we good? Can we play? Bunyi tak? Come on lah, Prof. Siva came all the way for me, you know. Boleh? No. Sound. Ada bunyi atau tidak? Ada bunyi atau tidak? What does that hand mean? Okay, tak ada bunyi. Tak ada bunyi. Prof. Siva, you remember this? Your emeritus professorship? You do? But then it wouldn't be genuine. Macam mana je? I'm very interested in the postmortem of this inaugural lecture. Please invite me to come to the postmortem of this inaugural lecture. Are we yes? Are we no? Or shall we just ask Prof. Siva to say what if you still remember what you said, you don't remember what you said? Okay. So do we go on? Shall we just go on? Okay, anyway, we will just WhatsApp the video, which I thought was very significant, but unfortunately insignificant enough for some people. Tak boleh? No go? Dekat sini pun tak ada voice. Well, anyway, he goes on to say that, tak ada? See, despite being somebody who's scary, I'm still very hopeful. Yes, no, just give me the final word. Huh? Tak boleh? Try play.
Finally appointing me with a purpose.
Louder.
One day, when I was having tea in the hospital cafeteria, a young lady sat opposite me and said, Prof, I am Dr. So-and-so's daughter, and you delivered me. I am in the first year doing medicine. I was indeed delighted to meet her. I'm glad that this lady, whom I delivered more than 30 years ago, is now a lecturer at the department. And I have no doubt that if she continues to exhibit academic and clinical excellence, she will one day be a partner. The achievements of the department over the years would not have been possible without the cooperation and input of the various staff in the department.
So my birth was conducted by Emeritus Professor Syafinaz Saratnam. Please take a bow, Prof. Please stand up, Prof. Yes. And he was my father's colleague in ONG. They were both doing gynae oncology. Thank you very much for ensuring that short 9-10 centimeter journey, which could have changed everything if it was not done properly. Years later, he became my professor, my supervisor, my head of department, and in a way, the story began where it would circle back, in the delivery suite, where legacy, mentorship, and medicine converged all before I could walk. So while Ayah was subspecializing in gynae oncology, learning from the likes of Langley and Kolstad to bring new standards home, Mama and I became cheerful nomads. I remember fried herring kippers and accidentally delicious gammon-flavored chips, which we didn't know what gammon was. And of course, always with the voices of Agneta, Frida, Bjorn, and Benny. So the world felt open. Pockets were empty, but it was a good free time for us to do everything. So you can see that was our journey from SS2 PJ to Denby Lane, Stockport, Monton, Manchester, and we were in Jar, Norway, and we ended up in Boston, USA, which that was like the first best 4 years of my life until Mama was diagnosed with Ida. That's my forever joke. So, I mean, she's okay. You know, she's an associate professor in psychiatry. So that's all right. She's okay. She rearranged my symmetry. You know, she rearranged my symmetry. But I suppose that gave the harmonious balance, the balance that I needed. So first you listened to Chiquitita, now it's SOS, you know why. Then subsequently, Adlan came, and he, you know, he made life louder because now we knew who to blame for our mischief. Adlina came later, 10 years later after me, with light and music, you know, in her laughter, a decade after me, as usual. And then, of course, we had Arif, our wild card, even much later than me, prove that normal is overrated. That's what he taught me. So they were, ladies and gentlemen, my first study in leadership. How to impose, protect, deny, negotiate, and sometimes surrender. So no journey begins alone. I must say that every strength that I have within me was someone else's gift. And that gift is my family. My family. Then there were the poles. The poles, the discipline that steadied me. My nenek Nuruddin Tamin, my opah, Safia Nasution, Haji Arif Nasution, he was a postmaster. He was a postmaster and he became my first study in motor neuron disease. He audited my standard 2 papers as if it was the end of day mail. Counted, stamped, exact. Why did you not get good? Why are you not performing? That, you know, beat the hell out of me. Excuse me, sorry, Madam Chairman. He taught me that diligence is a duty, not a choice. And then we have my grandmother Kalsum Nyak Gam, Tok Chom. My first study in renal failure, and probably one of the first few in the country to have a hemodialysis machine in the house because the children participated in buying one for the house usage. And what would she say? She says, work hard is the only thing that stays with you. Beauty doesn't last, but you work hard. There's someone in this hall that she used to use as a benchmark. Is Azni Hazmi Fahir, Prof. Yazid's wife. Everything I did was to be referred to Kak Azni. You must be like Kak Azni. Kak Azni can do this, Kak Azni can do that. So there you go. Clap for Prof. Yazid's wife. And then there were the sparks. Yes, the sparks. My cousins. Ahmad Yani, Abdul Razak, and Ali Jasmine, my earliest sparring partners. Don't look down. You see, in polycentric, and if you've played polycentric before, I was always the prisoner. You know, yes, I was smaller, but I was always the prisoner. The first of the many playful injustice that taught me to protest. It taught me to protest, taught me to argue my cases and serve the sentence with composure. Now, nevertheless, they both, Ali Jasmine and Ahmad Yani, are here today, and they're both lawyers. I'm not the lawyer here. See? But they kept rivalry affectionate and alive and taught me that loyalty and competition can coexist. Okay, so yeah, that's us. Then the lessons. What did I do? Don't read. Okay, now this is an important lesson. I didn't even put the music for it. When I was in SRK Asunta 1, I was bullied by 2 standard 2 Chinese girls. Used to ask me to run errands in the canteen to buy stuff. So I got back home and I told my father, I said, you know what, I feel a little bit like Kunta Kinte, if that is of any reference to you, from Roots. So after dinner, he stood me down in the living room and he said, punch. Again, throw your punch. Throw your punch. Steady your gait, eyes steady, feet planted, throw your punch. He didn't go to see the cikgu. He didn't write a letter to the pengetua. No, it wasn't. He taught me how to stand. It wasn't just self-defense. It was the first lesson in life. Never tremble when you are right. Never be bullied. Mama, on the other hand, gave the other half of the strength. How to cook, how to shop, how to prepare, how to organize, how to be complete so that nobody can complain about you. You are a perfect package. So from Ayah the stance, from Mama the standard. So together, they made a fighter who is also finished, disciplined with grace. So never be bullied and be undeniable. So the boxing gloves and the kitchen gloves will form the surgical gloves. Friends and freedom, hit it. I formed my gang basikal with Adila and Sawani, who Razak later married, my cousin. He married my bicycle mate. And we rode the lanes of Rapat Setia with, on bicycles that rattled like tambourines. The wind was freedom, but our sekolah Ugama Rakyat anchored us in faith and conduct. Between the mosque and Jalan Datuk Damanhuri, Prof. Izzah, you would know, your grandfather, was my first study in balance, literally, on the bicycle and morally. And faith with discipline would later define my approach to surgical ethics. At main convent, can I get a ho? Simple in virtue, steadfast in duty. There you go. I found another kind of education. Excellence without cynicism. And yet, we were allowed to dream and nobody would say, no, that's not correct. We were allowed to dream, to imagine, to behave the best that we could, and nobody would say that, no, that's wrong. So yeah, we have Surina, Irma, Zarina, Zairine, Hanim, Rajita, Anit, Rajvan, Shamila, Aina, Norina, Shamarina, my ride or die. And a senior, Susan Marie Kubina is here. Yeah. Okay, we dreamt, laughed, cried, gossiped, but never mocked ambition. That I learned in Kuala Lumpur. But at the center of that belief stood Miss Subhadra Nair. Miss Subhadra Nair, please stand. Exacting, terrifying, unforgettable. 3 entries in the jota per week. Dictionary trumps, grammar drills. She didn't just teach senses, she taught precision. Each comment was a literally incision to my pride and a suture for my prose. But Ms. Nair, thank you for the language expansion, accuracy, and humility. Very much looking back, it looks like a preclinical module that we had to study, repetition, correction. So by the time I had to start working, endurance became a nature. So thank you very much, and I think that is also why I am very particular with my students now. So Ms. Nair, my Form 3 teacher, is here today. A big hand and a round of applause. Okay, so the lineage of defiance, Kurt Sem. Now he was named the madman with the toy. Now, before I ever held a camera in my hand, another surgeon did, and the world laughed at him. In the 1960s, Germany, Kurt Sem built his own laparoscopic instruments from bicycle parts and was expelled from the surgical society. But yet, in 1980, he performed an appendicectomy, the first appendicectomy, and it took him 8 hours through that hole there. So you see how far we've come across, right? So as he is also a rogue and a conviction, my conviction is here, my rogue moments. So before there was funding, there was faith. And what was it? So that's it. Contact Jiwan Singh. He's a pioneer in total laparoscopic hysterectomy. I emailed him. I don't know this man. I emailed him. He replied, And he said, meet me at AAGL in Las Vegas, best place for networking. You know? So I'm like, okay. I showed the brochure to my superior, my boss. She slid it back and said that it's too advanced for you. You know? I went anyway. So you consider this situation, okay? If I have my ONG trainees here. 34-year-old, gravida 2 para 1. I was pregnant with Adlan. Okay, I was pregnant with Adlan at 27 weeks. Postmasters, what was my pay then? Newly inducted, scraping the barrel, having to get money to go to Las Vegas without any sponsorship. I didn't ask for any sponsorship, I just wanted an okay actually. It was an expensive, long overhaul flight, 23 hours, so we have to move. Is this someone whom you would allow on a flight? No, high risk, okay. And I was alone, an economy ticket, 4 or 5 days trip only, just to meet some stranger by the name of Jiwan Singh. Okay, for the first time. Would you? You would? You're lying. Okay, so we met Jiwan Singh and he walked me through the rooms, which I didn't know existed. APH Inner Circle, the European Guild, the American hotshots, the Australian high setters of laparoscopy. And you know, it gave me something. I know that in that 1 week, I learned 2 lessons. Innovation is collaboration, because sometimes you bankroll your future before anybody else believes in you. Yeah? And boundaries between countries are artificial because skills and science are the true passports. So later, I asked him, why did he help? Nothing, he said. He said, I remember not being given a chance. I'm just passing it on. And so I made a promise that I will never be the keeper who mistakes the key for the crown. So when a younger surgeon asks for a door, I will open it and hold it long enough for her to bring in someone through with her, behind me, or with me. So maybe that courage came from our cheerful nomad days, that I don't know, but the world felt open when you dare to go. Jiwan is in Australia now, and he actually, we use his colpotomizer a lot in our practice today. And so that's Jiwan. He's in Perth. So wrote letters. Where can I go for my endoscopic training? 88 letters sent out every day, everywhere. I went to Europe, to America, to anywhere. And I got a reply from a Dr. Huang Kwan-gen. I think you got the wrong song. And then the training course said that you have 3 months to be assistant, a second assistant, and another 3 months to be first assistant, and then another 3 months to be the surgeon, and you get another 3 months, is that 12 months, to be the teacher. So I thought, man, this is the biggest, most complete place. So we packed up to go to Taiwan. So that was how Taiwan gave me my first break in something someone believes. Otherwise, you were just another young lecturer sort of thing. So yes, so I was a second assistant, first assistant. That picture with Sritian Ledvikun is because we finished our first total laparoscopic hysterectomy together. Dr. Sritian Ledvikun is here from Maido University. Thank you very much. So they were very kind. They were very kind to me. They welcomed me. And you can see here that there are many fellows who were accepted in Taiwan. And people ask, why Taiwan? Why not Australia? I said, why Australia? What's that? So of course, I didn't know the language. And I was in confinement with Adlan. So Mr. Zhou Fang, 我的老师，他们说会讲中文，现在一定你的 teach me. Mr. Zhou Fang. So he taught me Chinese. We were sparring. There was no writing. And it was just, talking until it made sense. Then came the idea. What is the second rogue idea? The idea that no one wanted, no one supported. A porcine hands-on lab. Impossible, unethical, outrageous, unnecessary. We have about 300 trainees now, passed out from our series. So, whatever you say, okay, so we've run. So in 2013, 2014, it was all resistance and taboo, but we did it the right way. It was official, it was licensed, ethical, formal endorsement, however, only came from necessary people. After the 7th workshop, we persisted. We kept going. What started as a labor of love is now an annual coveted training where trainees learn not only complication management, but also how to organize a real surgical event end to end. At its core are the constants. Miss Lee Siu In, Hanisah Muhammad, Linda Su, where are you? So I saw you, Linda Su, and Grace Tan. So we've had a relationship, I think, longer than some marriages, in fact. They held the line while the idea found its footing. So today, it's internationally an ASEAN hub with over 300 trainees shaped by these workshops. Now, what we do is we build a safe place of practice, okay, to practice the hardest moments in surgery so that our patients meet surgeons whom have already rehearsed the storms. They've gone through the complications. This is a porcine bladder, by the way, okay? So they get to learn how to stitch in a real-life situation. At that time, the Malaysia's laparoscopic landscape used to be very fragmented. Somebody was in Sungai Petani, somebody was in Sabah, somebody was in Putrajaya. So we thought, how do we do this? So there were pockets of talent, but little structure and no certification. So in 2017, we founded the Gynecological Endoscopic Society of Malaysia, together with my tuanku at that time, Datuk Hazim, okay, Datuk Wan Ahmad Hazim, who was also the head of ONG department in Putrajaya. So OGSM said, work under the umbrella, work with us. But that was not possible because we had too many things to be done. So at that time also they said, ni budak nakal ni, sibuk nak buat society sendiri. But it had to be done. We agreed on a collaboration later, but we also needed a dedicated go-to platform. So those are the first trainers of GESM. And in 2020, when the COVID arrived, we came up with safety standardizations and consensus. It took center stage because when COVID hit, we moved fast. We documented practice, what should you do, can laparoscopic surgery be conducted, how do we do it? So the GSM recommendations on laparoscopic surgery during COVID-19 came out in 2020. So ladies and gentlemen, what began as a rebellion has matured into governance, not just skills and standards, not just cases, but country-level coherence. So the continuum, as I wanted to say, that is Kurt Sem, and this is his trainee at that time, Lisolette Mettler. And that is Lisolette Mettler with me. And this is me with my trainers. So there will always be a continuum. So you see Kurt Sem, the original rogue, and the rogue standing in front of you. But we've actually come a full circle. So every field needs its Sem. Every field. Okay. Then came the issues of DARE. What are the issues of DARE? The issues of DARE that we had to study and we had to defend. Surgical rebellion, where things were thought of as taboos, but they were life-saving options. And taboos, people will say that, but the rationale is, you need experience, skills, and wisdom. But what were the big no-nos? The big no-nos were power morcellation, corneal ectopic pregnancy, or cystectomies in pregnancy. So these things were, throughout the years, were tackled. And where best to tackle than in the OGSM to show what we have done. Music tak kuat. Okay. So power morcellation was very much a taboo. People didn't allow, no, you cannot do power morcellation because surgical dissemination and you get cancer, disseminated leiomyomatosis and sarcoma, sarcomatous changes and all that. But if it is done properly in a bag, which means that you do an in-bag morcellation, then you are safe. So that is what we did. We did an in-bag morcellation and it is inserted in. And so with the tumor in the bag, with the tumor in the back, it helps to keep the area safe. I don't know how to cepatkan this. Okay, never mind. All right. And that was accepted in OGSM. So the in-back power modulation for laparoscopic myomectomy. Reusable, safe manner, cost-effective as well. So, yeah, that was a good thing for me and my team. Then, of course, we spoke about interstitial or cornual ectopic pregnancies. No, this one, if you get such a case, do it an open laparoscopy, do a laparotomy, don't waste your time. Go in immediately, get it out. Well, actually, if you know how to do it in the hands of certain people, you can actually do it well. And it can be done laparoscopically. So this was then featured again in 2017 during the Looking Back, Moving Forward OGSM Congress, where, if I'm not mistaken, it won Best Video Award as well at that time. So, yeah. And then, cystectomy in pregnancy. Some of you might be familiar with this. There are not many places in this country who do this with their trainees as well. Would you remove a cyst when you're pregnant? Can it be done? What if you poke the uterus? Don't lah, poke the uterus, kan, you know? Don't do that. So yes, the cyst is removed and we did it properly. And, we have got a series of safe practices that we have done, and OGSM recognized us again. And we had to show a masterclass in laparoscopic surgery teaching this particular issue, making it open. So ladies and gentlemen, the rogue never wanted to destroy. She only wanted to prove that it could be done. Against all advice and often without approval, because approval was always late, it became the foundation for everything that followed. So from rebellion came rhythm, and from rhythm, wisdom. So, resilient, the long apprenticeship. Music. My SPM wasn't extraordinary, and for a moment the dream wobbled. I didn't have the best of results. So at Asasi Science, I shut up my mouth, lowered my head, and worked. Math, physics, those were my two weakest subjects. What was the metronome in my head? Only the top 100 can get in. So I never lived away from home actually, and I was terribly homesick. So which is why I pay tribute to my aunts and uncles who are now in the crowd. My Uncle Tajuddin, who has passed, and my Auntie Nazipa, my Mak Long Faiza, who has just passed as well. And my Pak Long Kamal is here today. He spoke to me and taught me about cheese and steaks and the good things in life, and my Matsu, Dr. Noriza, and Insinyur Aminuddin. Thank you for keeping me fed, keeping me sane, and allowing me to wash my clothes in your house because, it was crazy in college. It was impossible. But at the same time, my survival kit also had names. So there was Afida, Norhaza, Sazlina, roommates who endured my music and pranks. And then we had the 7A sit. Ida, Rohayu, Naksa, Shaza, Tengku Ain to you. Asma and Aziz rattled from college to lectures in Tengku Ain's grey Mini. How we all fit in, I cannot imagine. But we kept each other upright when exhaustion tried to win. Prof. Jamil, do you remember this group? This was the F3 guys, the action group, the one who didn't have to sit for the English exam because we could speak English well. Are you guys around? I don't know. I think they're probably online, okay? So the F3 guys, they kept us competitive, And as Britney would say, not yet a girl, not yet a woman. We were in Asasi. Are we University Malaya students or were we not? So we were not sure either, but we wanted to be in UM, So we came from everywhere, but we had one goal. And it was to get into medicine. And I learned that camaraderie, laughter, and discipline can actually absolutely coexist. Now, why did I feature this picture years later? If you can see, and I'm not sure if you can see properly, but the mural behind where I was studying in Asasi, which was often disregarded, was actually a huge mural by Chua Tian Ting, which was our #1 batik artist in Malaysia. Years later, while I was having coffee in Prof. Sarah's coffee room in the orthopedic surgery department, I found the actual master copy. Now, I should have taken it away because at that time it cost about 100,000. It would have cost about 100,000, but we decided to get it valued and return it to the UM Art Gallery. So here I stand with the actual gallery and with the master copy that I lost. It's still there. I don't know, maybe we should go and see that one day. So yeah, so that was what happened. That is the significance of it. Then came the medical school years. Now the wait was long. The wait was very long. And then Uncle Adnan phoned my dad. Who is Uncle Adnan? Uncle Adnan is Johan Hirusman's father. So he said, hey, I saw her name. I saw her name in the list. Because why was I not in the list? You see? So I was wondering. See, what happened was that I also applied as an Irish consortium backup, but I've always wanted to study in UM. So Dad spoke to Professor Dean Anwar Zaini, and I was promised that, you better make sure your girl stay, because if she goes off to Ireland, then I lose a space. Prof. Anwar, I stayed. I'm still here, and I think I built my whole career from a student to professor. So if you are there, Yanti, you can tell your dad that I'm still here. So I was assistant class rep. Half the authority, all the stress. And my rhythm section was Sharina, Intan Sabrina, Masida, Adura, who are here today with us. Thank you very much. And they kept me awake through the lectures. My roommates came in seasons, Masida, Anila, Sharina, each leaving laughter and late night confessions, and my sisters by choice, which I think I will talk about. Yeah, can you see? You can't really see us. It's just, it's just like, where's Wally? Exactly, right? Then you can see, I can see, can you see? Yeah. That was back in CSH, Clinical Students Hotel. Yeah, that's right. And we met up. We met up again. And this year we're 50. So that's 25 years anniversary of the MBBS year 2000, which Prof. Farida Al-Hadi is here today. And where is she? I've always wanted to be like you, and you were the Deputy Dean undergraduate. So thank you very much today, Prof, for coming. First year was nauseating. Failed my biochemistry. That reminded me it's okay lah. He also had to repeat his parasitology, which is why he's very good in parasitology till today. It was crazy. Second year, I failed pharmacology. What did my mom say? Okay, at least you get to see your boyfriend more, your new boyfriend. So I passed, and I passed. But by third year, clinical medicine felt like breathing, At that time, Prof. Tan Peng Chong and Prof. Kula, they reframed ONG for me, made it look so easy. How to deliver, when to deliver, too much blood, not enough blood. What else is there? No blood, right? No blood, no bleeding. So it wasn't chaos, it was in fact choreography to me. The late nights, the eclampsia, the hemorrhage, the concept, whatever. It taught me that you can make kindness a standard to ladies who were delivering as well. Okay, the trio. Azra Mansoor. Okay. So she became my best friend in medical school despite being 2 years senior to me. Okay. But she and Rosaida Sam. Rosaida Sam, where's the it girl? Where's the hot girl on campus at that time? There she is. Okay. It's Rosaida Sam. So they sort of like adopted me, made a sisterhood to give support to each other and took us everywhere. Now, Rosaida Sam, in fact, even took me to Terengganu to buy Halim's wedding sampin, So that was, thank you very much. But they gave me a steady company, soft landing and affection, and we moved as a trio, went everywhere together. And Aizura and I, we were known as the power twins. We were only not fused at the hips. We took perfect angles when we walked around the corridors of PPUM. But we lived and breathed for medicine and surgical training at that time. My God, we had one code of success that we both shared: flat nostrils. If you pass me and I pass you, and you start flaring your nostrils, it means that you've completed the surgery together. You've done your hysterectomy, or you've done your first proper bone fixation and all that. So years later, she would become the deputy director of UMSC Surgical. But in my head, she is the person who kept me fat, laughing, and upright when the nights were long and the days were very tiring. Then came housemanship. The housemanship, that was my first car, Fiat Brava 1998. Yeah. Man, I love that car. Anyway, and I learned so much, I learned so much. I completed housemanship in University of Malaya, and in a year and a half, every posting rewired me. Prof. April Camilla Roslani, she taught me how to finally properly suture with my left hand. Prof. VJ and Dr. Emir Hoti showed me that swagger of decisiveness. All that swagger, we learned it from someone, Prof. Noor Aisha Muhammad Taib and the late Dr. Eileen Fong proved that surgery can be both strong and kind. Prof. Hani Arifin, she modeled precision with compassion. Prof. Sengupta, the late Sengupta, showed that skills was not age-linked. He would have preferred to have me than any of his medical officers. And of course, there was always Staff Nurse Yusliza. If you're here, are you here, Yus? Staff Nurse Yusliza was the first one. She's here. Give her a hand. Staff Nurse Yusliza was the one who always caught my near misses within my first week of housemanship. She would label the bloods that I took. It was crazy. My HO partner at that time was your Prof. Shahnaz. Ladies and gentlemen, Prof. Shahnaz, now head of your ICU. Yes, he was always silent strength by itself. So by the end of ONG, by the end of housemanship, I knew that ONG was mine, and I was doing forceps delivery even before the masters letter even came out. Now, around that time, that was 9/11, Halim was trying to propose to me. Twice, because the first time I was just complaining about my slap letters. When were my slap letters going to come in? When do I have to go back to Ipoh? Oh, Datuk Siva doesn't like me. Not Prof. Siva, Datuk Siva. Then finally, I got a meeting with Tan Sri Amin, Professor Amin Jalaluddin at that time. And the meeting was at 7 o'clock in the morning. I was like, who is in the office at 7 o'clock in the morning? Tan Sri, thank you very much. All you said was, don't worry, it will happen. And it did. So I got my slap papers. So 7 o'clock, I think you must have been there at 6:30. So from him, I learned the rule that I still live by. Excellence is consistency applied early. You want the good things in life? Come early. Now, then came the masters. The first lab year was in anesthesiology and urology, and I learned all necessary things for a person who has just gotten married. And under the queens of anesthesia, Professor Gracie, Lucy Chan, YK Chan, Prof. Wang, I know Prof. Wang is in the crowd, the boss babes of calm under crisis. They were elegant, they were edgy, quiet commanders of the operating theatre. And I learned that you didn't have to do the surgery. The surgeons were bloody scared of you if you were the anesthetist. And that's from them I learned that. And then I entered ONG proper. Now, back then, your electives was 6 months outside, which meant that you come into ONG on your second year. This I tell to people who feel that they are not good enough. As a second-year ONG student, I did not do a cesarean section yet. So when we were all round up, and everybody was like, 4 or 5 years experience in ONG elsewhere. You 4, you 5, you 3, you Alfred Go. Dr. Go, where are you? Yeah. Dr. Alfred Go say, you 0, I know. So it was already being bullied before you even began, So what did I do? I went up to him. I said, you know what? You teach me. You teach me. You teach me how to do what you think I should do. And he did. So he did the first few scissors together with me, and subsequently he sat in the pantry reading his newspapers while I did all the difficult scissors. And he never gave up. So you know what, Dr. Go, thank you very, very much. I wouldn't have happened without you. What he used to say, don't think too much. You open and you see, then you do. Sure can one. Okay? And then, of course, in the master's program, you will see that there are no master's pictures, because for me, it was a horrible time. It was an adulterated time. And you can see here, I put, this is my dad's book for his MRCOG. Look at my book. And at that time, we had to do like 2 studies, O and G, and 20 summaries, because you have 10 O and 10 G. It's crazy. So, but behind me, or in front of me, or by my side was always Prof. Sile Kaim. Please stand up. Prof. Sile told me that lightning strikes the tallest tree. And if there's no helicopter for you and you've not given a helicopter, you climb. You walk and you climb and you do whatever you need to do to climb. So that's what I'm going to tell you today. You climb. You don't have to wait for someone to give you the helicopter. Then, of course, there was Prof. Noor Azmi Mat Adnan. Take a bow, sir. Prof. Azmi always practiced fairness without favoritism, and I think that is one of the most important. You see a lot of heads in the crowd are nodding in agreement. And I think that is one of the biggest things that a leader should have. No favoritism, only fairness. Thank you very much, Prof. Prof. Lim Boon Kyong reminded us that victory has many parents and that failure is an orphan. He would always say that. And Prof. Sophia Sulaiman proved that a surgeon can be powerful, gentle, and feminine all at once. The hardest stretch was the master's exam, and we always walked out quiet and flayed from the classes. I sat the masters 3 times. I want that to be minuted. I am not shy to say that. It caused a lot of vices, but I'm not shy to say that. Why do I tell you? Because I want you to believe that if I can do it, you can too. No matter how many times they try to put you down. I went to see my brother. I said, I'm done. And he's like, chill, it's okay. You just keep going. And I did that. So every failure became feedback. Every friend, Susanna Hanek, Joy Peripuranampur, Mohan, they just became my fuel. So then, of course, finally we went to Taiwan. And the whole family packed. Did I miss a slide? No. Yeah. That was our baggage. So you can see Iris is only 4. And Adlan was in my swaddle. And at home, Halim had to hold the still point. I mean, he had to walk Iris to the class at the bus stop. He had to soothe a 9-month-old baby. And he had to prepare food. Now, my husband and I, we're probably the most competitive couple ever. Now, for a man born in motion, the stillness was his greatest act of love. The fact that he could take time off 1 year, stand up. We need to see him, Yeah, for men, he took time off to take care of the baby while I was learning. And that stillness is his greatest act of love. So one night, after failing in the first Shanghai workshop, I couldn't do the animal workshop. I couldn't suture. So I told Iris, I said, Mama cannot. I just cannot. So what did she say? She said, she looked up from her Chinese homework. She said, if I can do magic time homework, which meant that she had to write in Chinese, I have to do my bit. So at that time, something shifted. The biggest lessons were from the youngest member of the family. Skill can be taught, but faith must be borrowed from those who love you. Enough to hold the silence while you learn and to see in the dark. So thank you, Iris. Thank you for that. And then came my A-page days. Those were the A-page golden years under Professor Lee Chi-Long, who is from Taiwan. Prof. Lee, please stand up. A mentor to many. And Professor Huang Kuan-Gen. Small fraternity in Asia believed that the East could define its own excellence. They never called themselves mentors. They never. They just operated beside you until you became them. I mean, I realized that the world was not racist. I was in a homogeneous Chinese society, and I was not treated differently. Maybe I look Taiwanese like like the, what do you call it? The ones on the mountains, I don't know. But as I said, so Sitian Levikun was my first, the one who assisted, he taught me how to do my first TLH, and that's Doris there. Doris Benavides from Philippines. Okay, my surgical body guiding and criticizing and relax. Why are you so angry? Relax. Assuring that perfectionism should come with kindness. And my band of brothers, can I hear my A-page fellas? Can you stand up? All the way from Indonesia, from Thailand, from Philippines. Give them a round of applause. Always there. My my APH family. Now we've seen it all, haven't we? The flights that we couldn't afford, the workshops that we built out of nothing, the bureaucracy that could make a saint swear. But every resistance we faced somehow fell through. Someone came into the circle and fought it off, just in a different country, just a different accent. But we never broke. What did we do? We built camaraderie over the last 10 years or so. We ousted politics, and the brothers and sisters forged in halogen lights of the operating theatre. Now, I remind you again, most of us are hitting that magical number of 50. What did we promise? We promised that when our juniors came knocking, we would say yes, okay? Because our bosses didn't. Not maybe, not later, but now. All right, guys? So that's what we want to do. Let's not repeat the sins of our forefathers. The future of MIGS shouldn't depend on permission, only passion. So here's to us, the stubborn believers, the ones who said yes to each other first. Thank you very much for coming all the way from wherever you are. Thank you. We continued even during the COVID era, and here are more pictures. And look, there's even, Rita is here also, always the co-chair of APH Fellowship. Thank you very much for coming. So the exposure with APH created papers, early benchmark papers. And each study marked a season, technique, or a pathology that we could write. And I learned how to write there. Okay, these papers later became reference points for curious issues and how we teach and practice minimally invasive gynecology today. And then from the cases that we had, we developed and collaborated with the other countries, and then we developed systems and answers. So these studies documented things which were ignored, the real-world complications that shaped our practices. So things like the successful surgical treatment of recurrent choriocarcinoma, marked my shift from procedure to purpose. Then I returned from Taiwan. The operating theatre became my music studio. Professor Nur Azmi had secured the instruments he had only bought the year before that. Team D was ready. We wanted to start our rock and roll grid. Curiosity, conviction. BK Lim said, "Are you crazy or are you stupid?" I don't know. I think I'm crazy. But in all intents and purposes, coming back from Vegas, coming back from Linko, Taiwan, it had one purpose. That was to cement minimally invasive gynecological surgery in Malaysia with a proper standard of care. I didn't want to be a solo artist. I now wanted to build an orchestra. So Raymond, this is our play track in the OTs, yeah. So together with me were my early trainees, Geraldine, my MC, and I think Dr. Raymond is here. Doris, maybe, I'm not sure, but they are all here. All right. Then what happened? Okay. Then 7 quiet years. Papers written. Some rejected. Promotions uncertain. Promises blurred. Goalposts kept shifting in the dark. Which one? How many? Oh, no. Oh my God. No way. Private? No. Don't know. Hang on. But unfortunately, for the mediocre lecturers like me, we had to be still to perform. We couldn't be collecting the papers and writing up for our promotion as and when, whenever we were working. But the sabbatical in Belgium with Professor Petra de Sutter rewired my lens, And because of that, it was the pause that propelled, because then I could write my papers. I learned how to sit long enough to write, and that eventually carried me to my promotion as associate professor. And subsequently, the papers came. It was not a victory sort of thing, but it was a validation that, that the job was done. The joy wasn't loud, but it was a relief. It was a quiet relief of knowing that endurance still had some currency. And then, of course, the work of gynecological endoscopy continued with Rudy Campo in Belgium and Arnaud Wattiers from France. Liselette Mettler became a regular with us in Germany. And we have Giuseppe Bigatti from Italy and Osama Shoki from Egypt. So across Europe and Asia, we were moving, and surgeons were, they were not just inventing toys, but they were inventing timelines and going into progress. So when Josiah was born in Europe, the accreditation curriculum, I just came home from Taiwan. But when APH launched its simulation schools and training, we held our first animal workshops in 2012. Now they say that the vaginal natural orifice surgery resurfaced in 2013, but I can say for sure here that the creators of V-Notes are here with me, Professor Lee and Sushan. Sushan, where are you? Oh, Sushan left? Sushan is there. Okay. These were the pioneers of vaginal nodes, natural orifice surgery. And then the Asian Mix Consortium took shape and GCM took form. Okay, so that's that. So it was a decade of the world learning to institutionalize. And on the other side, we were also doing what we could, our pulse. Then came the deferment. And I remembered when 2009, when SJMC called me, Dr. Siti called me, do you want to come? And I said, not yet. The invitation, it was like a lost love. You're like, maybe I should revisit that idea. So in 2023, it was flavorful to consider leaving. The deferment came, and this was our anthem at that time. 25 years and my life is still, yeah. But I stayed because leaving would then have handed victory to mediocrity, and I couldn't have that. So the papers kept coming. I mean, I didn't have that two little papers, I'm not too bad, I'm not clever. I mean, I did okay. But the panel asked, what good would it bring UM if we made you a professor? I said, I did all that before you giving me the professor, so give lah, at least I get a little bit more, So I get a bit of name, So I had papers, collaborations, but apparently it was still not enough. Never enough, is it? Clinical humiliation. Very sterile, but it cuts really, really deep. So what was the rebuild? I called PC Tan. I called and I sat in my car 1.5 hours. I spoke to him. I said, I think I should leave. I can't take this anymore. This is not the way I should be treated. And he's like, nonsense. You're not going anywhere. But he's in London now, so I can say that. But he said, no, we'll go through it and we'll get through it. And then said, something will happen. And then I had lunch. I had lunch with these three lovely, lovely ladies. Prof. Tan Kit Man, Prof. Wong Li Ping, and Dr. Lee Wan Ling. You are in the crowd. Please stand up. Yes. These ladies took me out for lunch and said, don't worry, we will help. And that was what they gave. They gave help, which came out with all these papers. All the papers came out with the help of PC Tan and ladies. PC Tan. He is the regular rogue. He is the actual rogue, He was first to make ONG look simple, clean lines, clean decisions, and with him, for the longest time, we were running the labor room together by international standards because he was very evidence-based. But even when the seniors disagreed, But he was a rogue because before it even became fashionable. So as years grew, he grew harder, and I stood back because I didn't want to step into his cohort and his area, his field. But I never forgot who taught me to trust data, to standardize care, and to stand my ground. So because I called him, and he listened, and he helped, for that I honor him today, because without him, I wouldn't have gotten this professorship. So Prof. PC Tan, thank you for making it rogue, rigorous, and necessary. So the letters and the papers kept coming, and during 2020, as I said, we've gotten our studies more tailored towards making minimally invasive surgery better, and getting safety statements across ASEAN. And subsequently, of course, now we have to work. How do we go about it? My network became bigger. So partnerships with Prof. Wong Li Ping, Lee Wan Ling, Dr. Hamizan, or Hamizan Hamzah. I think she just got her associate professorship. Congratulations, girl. And Dr. Noor Asia and Dr. Mona Lisa, they provided me with the IMR group, pulled my research into public health and with Imaging Frontier. So at the same time, I was revisiting operating room innovations with collaborators. And the future of minimally invasive surgery looked more diverse at that time. So we had DARE, now we have diversify. What is diversify? So now you know how to do, you know how to operate. So you've got to diversify and expand what you do. So that was the likes of the outpatient hysteroscopy, the microwave ablation, the HIFU, and outpatient hysteroscopy. Thank you to PPUM for finally allowing us to have an outpatient service. And so now patients can undergo hysteroscopy, stop and go. Thank you very much, Prof. Nazira. The calm that steadies the chaos. And for all your effort, I thank you very much. The outpatient hysteroscopy, patients can come in, have a look, scope, get it out, they're home by the day. So yes, we managed to do that, so I'm very happy. And then we have introduced the microwave ablation. So we no longer want to remove and operate. What do? We burn. But we burn intelligently. And that technique, and I have just been given the good news that Nanjing now wants to have an MOU with us to sign to make microwave ablation our center of excellence. So I hope that works out. I hope that works out. And then, of course, there's HIFU. When you talk about minimally invasive surgery, now you talk about no invasion at all. So that is Prof. Feng Wu from Oxford who's teaching us how to do it. Such huge fibroids like this can be burned with the high focus ultrasound, and patients don't require admission or surgery. Then came, in 2019, okay, I was an associate professor, I was a surgeon, a society founder, and a college mistress of Avicenna before becoming head of culture of UM Health. The Avicenna years, I call them, taught me that leadership is logistics under pressure and kindness under scrutiny. Now we read a very simple rule: honesty before optics. No show. We do it because we want to do it for the students. It was an utopia to learn how to be brave and speak the truth, because I was not hierarchy, I didn't give hierarchy any importance at all. Everybody understood why. We assigned mixed race rooms. We insisted that they were mixed so that they learn from each other's culture. And we had open forums all the time, okay? And amongst our student leaders was Kadir. Now, Kadir was my fire, charismatic, spark. You know, after long amber, you will get the spark. And then Shafiq's in the crowd. Shafiq was my water. Shafiq was water, very calming, created systems, protocols, SOPs, and we did the e-wallet and the meal aid program together. And then there was wind. And with wind came loud and restlessness and complaints and ideology, conflict, to which a 10 p.m. call was received, and then a resignation. Truth prevailed, the ethos outlived the post. Thank you very much, I would say. But if you know, you know. But Ops Pulang, that was my proudest non-surgical operation of my life. I ruled Avicenna like I was Winston Churchill, making sure that everybody was either in the room or not. And we managed to get zero occupancy. We managed to send out all our students back home to their hometown, I think the fastest. And this could only happen because of the remarkable works of Dr. Timothy Chang. Timothy, are you here? Muhammad Shukran. Tim is here. Tim is here. Tim is more famous for other things. But yes, but Timothy and Muhammad Shukran, Muhammad Rosli, and are you here? Don't know. Faiz, Muhammad Faiz, Yusuf, Nazian, Jomhari, and Romana Ngui. So we had a great team, logistics as compassion, at scale. So we did that. I'm very proud of the Ops Pulang and of my students from the KK6 era. All right. So, now that rogue was rebellion and regular was mastery, so rationale is legacy, right? So, the art of discernment, and this is something that we have to discuss together to make a decision, to decide. Industry will push technology, and in gynae endoscopy, technology is faster than what we can catch. So know when to say yes and when to say no. Every innovation must serve the patient, not the system. The robot is there for the patient's benefit. It is not because you have to get your quota of how many cases per month. So you've got to be a wise selector. And I think, Prof. Lee, you agree with me on this, that we lead with brains, not buttons, and not every shiny new thing is the right choice. So robotics and the industry push is something that we are aware of, and soon there will be even more robots. I think there are about 10, 15 robots already in the system. And thank you very much again, PPUM, for providing us with our first robot after 7 years of fighting to get it. So thank you so much. So what we want is individualized surgical decision over technology trends. And of course, we want to advocate surgeons who lead care by decisions, care decisions. They must lead the care decisions. It's not the technology. So the dare, diversify, and decide completion, you dare to challenge, and you diversify your tools, but one has got to decide with wisdom. So many will tell you that with ChatGPT and whatever, and that, the AI is future. AI is the future, or maybe you say that AI is now, but Aizura is here. So, this was the vision that we had, all right? A UM-MIGS training authority that covered laparoscopic suturing, hysteroscopy, animal workshop, microwave ablation, robotics, the list is endless. And the traveling, and the networking. So now we were no longer following global instructions. We were part of the global conversations. We were part of the team. And that was Ghent in Belgium and Kawasaki Municipal Hospital, who taught me advanced hysteroscopy. And of course, we ended up in Oxford doing HIFU. And all these, we are seamless, we are boundless, because as again, science knows no boundary. I now have here the inverted pyramid. Here is a list of my co-authors in all my papers. There are 123 of them. The foundation, it is an inverted pyramid. Okay? Mentors form the foundation, the pillars form the colleagues, and the capstone are my mentees. Well, mentee is actually not an English word, I was told. So, yes, the fight is still on. What's in the pipeline? Let's see. Birth and labor studies, pain and comfort studies. Maybe we should look into endometriosis and the complexities, surgical precisions. We talk about fibroid shrinkages and all that. So, by the time my professorship was signed in 2024, the ledger of my career held 45 publications ranging from surgical techniques to social science, each one an artifact of collaboration, a workshop, a classroom, turned empirical. Yet the truest record is not bibliometric. What song is playing? What's going on? Yeah, when I deliver my inaugural, I said to myself, why are we playing this song? When I delivered my inaugural, I wanted to tell powers that may be, I will ask my students to stand. Can you all please stand up? If you have been affected by me, influenced by me, tortured or trained by me, please stand up. Please stand up. And I would like to tell VC Hamdi, these are my life citations. These are not kept in journals. These are not kept in publications which are never read. You are my life citation. You take away a part of me. Dear God, you take away a part of me. So for you, you've got to give it back. Give it to someone back. Okay? Capiche? All right. Okay, you can sit down now. So this is more enduring, more dynamic, infinitely more valuable. Okay? And they're written but alive. So that's good, right? So here is a montage of me teaching, me training, and all those who are involved in every level A lot of my trainees have gone on to become private practitioners successfully. They've stopped sending people to me because they seem to go out to the private often after being trained. Anyhow, the job doesn't stop. And in the words of S.S. Ratnam, if they leave, you train more. And if they leave, you train more. What's it to you? Just keep training, right? So some of them I've delivered. Some of them have gone to become huge, personalities in the medical field. But I do have a blueprint for a living faculty before I leave. Culture and conduct. I stand by the health values. We need to embed them, not impose. Empathy and to perform as well. This is what I would like. People and progression, real mentorship. Fair promotions, restorative sabbaticals which really make you feel better when you come back, and merit-centric, for God's sake. We should be merit-centric with diverse appreciation of what we are good for. Training the hand and teaching the mind and the conscience together with research synergy. We have to keep up with the technology. And when the hospital and the faculty can now care, one rhythm, one care for teaching and innovation, an integrated academic health center, that should be what we are. So not only for Malaysia, but also for the world, with the ASEAN bridges and digital health, it is to be included in the system. I don't want it on slogans only. I have always been an advocate of Medicina Sodalitas, medicine fellowship. We had to catch the head of the racial polarizing raggers of the medical students. And I told them that no more. From now on, we will have a medical students interaction, which is only one. And this was, the outcome of it. Continued into our medical society when we said that we wanted solidarity for our fellow frontliners. And of course, Medicina Sodalitas has been there since 1981. This is my father's practice, Clinic Nagara, Teo and Adlan, where Dr. Chuck Nagara is a Thai, and Dr. Teo Soon-Ki, the late Teo Soon-Ki, is a Chinese, and my dad, although he looks Chinese, is actually Malay. And Dr. Usha Balaguru, who is an Indian. So, you see, it is difficult for me, because I grew up in Ipoh, it's just Ipoh, right? But I grew up in a spirit that shared skills with merit and respect. And this is what I want. So I retire in 6 years' time. And this is my blueprint. So the advertisement is here. If you're interested to collaborate with me in a Muhibah clinic or practice, give me a call. So yes, to that, I keep my doors open and my language open to everyone. So the same principles will guide me after I leave University Malaya. Skills without borders, leadership without labels. That is the fellowship I want to leave behind. So every rhythm has to end somewhere. So now we are at coda. And when the beat fades, what remains are the people that you keep with you. My Teh Tarik Kueh Keria gang, where are you? Make some noise. Every revolution needs its booth at the Mamak, okay, as listed down there. So every time Prof. Young sees us talking, she gets a bit worried. What are they discussing? No, you're not worried. So yeah, we revived the University Malaya Medical Alumni Association together, Lazarus style. It was defunct. And we turned it into a real movement, a party with a purpose, and we used to help we used to have small pools of money helping students who couldn't pay for their fee. But we shared the love for the same things, the alumni. We also shared the same exhaustion, and let's be honest, we also shared the same disdain for people that we don't like. So one side at the table and everybody knew who we were talking about. So Nazri, Amani, and Fazliana, they were also my white-eyed juniors, because I spoke to them when I was a final year medical student and they were first year. So, we go a long way. So now they're the ones who keep me well when the air gets thin. Thank you very much. My Teh Tarik Kueh Keria. My My favorite obstetric anesthetist, I'm not sure if she's here, Dr. Carolyn Yim. Okay, anyway, that's for you. You know, kindred spirit always has a passport to my office for venting, for quiet moments, equal parts venting, reflection, how to survive. And in Operation Theatres, she kept my mother safe. She was the one who made sure that things run well. Professor Sharina, I didn't have a picture of you. My predecessor, inaugural, 1 year my senior, typical in senior manner. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this, you have to make sure things are done. So thank you very much. Otherwise, this would not have gone through properly. Thank you, Shireen. And of course, Tengku Ain. Where are you? You're there. Tengku Ain is ever supportive from her grey mini days until the promotion interview. This was during the promotion. She got the promotion, I didn't. But it's okay. You know? And she always insisted, you know, you're made for the world. Sometimes I almost believe her. But, you know, thank you very much. And then there's the engine room heroes. Where is she? Nur Jahan. Is Nur Jahan around? Nur Jahan, yeah. Nur Jahan, Hanim and I, we worked on the clinical skills unit. Gosh, for 10 years now. Yes, so thank you very much for being the engine. But of course, we watched 38 million drift away through cracks of bureaucracy and indifference. The loss still stings, but it's okay. You know, it just proves that it can easily be lost. Professor Christina Tan, my medical education mentor, please stand up. Came all the way from Penang. Thank you very much for always being there. My venting supply channel for all the days that I go wrong. Thank you. And of course, Professor Yang, Farida, who I have always been a fan of. And I am so happy because you make us all so happy and happy. It's a happy place to work in. Thank you very much, Prof. Yang. So now, yeah, that's 38 million running away. The circle that holds everything together. Iris, the painter, Aldan, the orator, and Alana, the sculptor. Actually, these pictures were taken in the same restaurant, which is why I fixed it here. So between the lights of the operating theatres and the long days of teaching, there were only 3 constants in my life. Iris looks like me, but thinks like Halim. Witty, maybe stubborn, in the best way. Soon our, insyaAllah, 3rd generation MBBS Malaya, I hope. Yes. Aldan looks like Halim, but moves like me. Restless, determined, head boy. He made head boy. I'm very proud. I didn't get to become head girl. Head boy. With quiet conviction, maybe the lawyer Ayah once imagined for me. So that's you. Alana is my quiet thunder. She's a mix between Kurt Cobain and Alanis Morissette. Observant, ironic, my rainbow baby after a miscarriage. So a rainbow after loss. So they are the rhythm behind every steady hand, the music beneath every lecture, the circle that holds everything together. Kids, children, I love you. And beyond that circle, there were 2 very strong people who held everything together. Alicia Villanueva, my helper. She keeps the household humming and every plan, every schedule. She is the yaya who takes care of the children with gentleness that I can't give. And at the helm of it all is my man about the house, Mak Cik In Bedu. Mak Cik In Bedu, who is my... Wait. I have to speak about Mak Cik In. So Mak Cik In Bedu is the man around the house and the driver, the fixer, the logistician, as well as the bodyguard. Make sure the kids get everything and the groceries are done, and also, you know, is the steady figure in their life lah, in the car rides and everything. So thank you, Cik In. Terima kasih banyak. Okay, now you can play the song. You see, when we met, I was always a Beatles fan. And I thought that Halim was a Beatles fan because he commented something about the Beatles. I knew later that he was a Rolling Stones fan. So this is probably the only Rolling Stones song I would allow in my playlist. So that's for you, dear. My partner, my still point. When the world demanded motion, you offered steadiness. While I was being shaped in theatre, he was performing his own discipline at home. Yes, he took his 1 year off and did what he could do. And for a man who has always lived in motion, I say again that stillness was your greatest act of love. There was a symmetry to it all. Because when I was 4, Ayah was abroad, specializing, and Mama was the one who carried our small universe, right? So this time it was my turn, except that this time Halim was the universe carrier. Same warmth, same faith, same courage to follow where work has led. Because love isn't a sacrifice, and this I tell all of you who's still looking. Love isn't a sacrifice, it's the insatiable quest to make sure your partner succeeds. Perhaps even more than you. I call it complementary flourishing. Two hearts growing in parallel. So Halim, I remain your Ruby Tuesday forever. Yes, I am one who is often selected but never chosen. And Tan Sri Badruddin Amiruddin, my uncle, always says, God will choose the leaders. We just have to do our best. So it took me years to understand what that meant, because I have often found myself selected, but never chosen, often trusted by my peers, but never really liked by the top ones. So perhaps that's just the rift that runs through my life. So over time, I have learned to make peace with it. I no longer have to be a mainstream choice. I would want to be a cult favorite. The one who stays different long enough to make a difference. After all, leadership is not about being chosen by others, is it? It's about continuing the work, even without recognition. That was the truth for a long time. But sometimes being uninvited is also freedom. I get to say whatever I want to at this age, sometimes. So how do I want to be remembered? Not as the loudest, not as the favored, but as the one who stayed, who built, and who believed. As one who turned endurance into evidence and evidence into empathy. And that is enough. So for those who are still waiting, struggling, publishing, teaching, caring more than your share, let me tell you one thing, I've been there. Just hold on for one more day. You will get there in your time. Come on, if I can do it, you can do it too. I'm not extraordinary. With truth intact. Do it in your time with your truth intact. Ladies and gentlemen, to end the session, may I invite again Ms. Jacqueline Victor and my two sisters, Ida and Ina. In your goodie bag, there's a keychain. On one side, it says ready to fight. Ready, fight. On the other side, it says hold on, not yet. You decide. Tak payahlah buka goodie bag sekarang kan? If you know this song, then sing with us. Thank you very much. That's the end of the lecture. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. None of us, even me, I didn't see that coming at all. I had no idea. So today, all of us had got a chance to witness the real deal, the raw deal from Professor Aizura, when nothing is ever normal. Nothing can be conventional. Nothing can be taken as standard. Everything has to be exceptional. Oh my God. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me just share with you a short story of a journey with me, with Prof. Aizura, whom I had the chance to got to know in 1998. I mean, we often measure greatness with titles and publications and accolades, but sometimes the true greatness is revealed in the quiet moment. I remember one night I just lost my wallet. I had no money, nothing, not too long ago actually. After work, exhausted, hungry, penniless, defeated after a very long, difficult surgery. I was too afraid to go home, so I ended up at Prof. Aizura's house, right in front of her door. Empty-handed, disheartened, without a single word, she opened the door and she let me in and she said, "Take whatever you need." And the first thing I did was I went straight into the kitchen, opened up her refrigerator and just ate whatever that is left. Now, it was past midnight, mind you, but yet she patiently discussed with me the difficult surgery I had for that day, offering me guidance and encouragement. And she told me one thing: hold on for one more day. So that night I learned the true greatness lies in the accolades, not in the accolades, but the generosity of the heart. Professor Dr. Aizura has weathered her own storm to become the person who she is today. But for her to still reach out for me, this insignificant soul, meant so much for me. I can only hope to be even a fraction of what she is today, the noble person that she is. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I would now like to invite Yang Berusaha Professor In Senior Dr. Kaharudin Dimyati, Deputy Vice Chancellor, Research Innovation University Malaya, once again to the podium to summarize and conclude today's inaugural lecture.
Saya ingatkan satu. Rupanya dua. Because like I said earlier kan, this is my mungkin 3 atau 4 times being or chairing inaugural lecture. Biasanya only one surprise, but today we have 2 surprises. Nak nyanyi tak boleh lah. Okay, let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, I guess Prof. Aizura has done his very good talks, truly inspiring and also thought-provoking. From rogue beginnings to resilient roads is more than a story of surgical innovations. It is a testament to courage, convictions, and unyielding spirit of a determined dreamer. Through your journey, we are reminded that progress is rarely smooth, and that resilience, purpose, and belief can turn defiance into discovery. And that, I guess, shown by Prof. Aizura. From the story, from the day one he is in the university up to now. Yeah, perhaps, again, one round of applause to her. Your words today have not only traced the evolutions of minimally invasive gynecology surgery in Malaysia, but have also illuminated the values that define great educators and pioneers: passion, perseverance, and humanity. On behalf of the Faculty of Medicine, University Malaya, we extend our heartfelt congratulations on this milestone and our deepest appreciations for your dedications and leadership. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me once again in congratulating Prof. Aizura on her remarkable inaugural lecture. Okay, with that, thank you very much, and back to MC.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Professor Insinyur Dr. Karudin. Thank you, Prof. Aizura, for such an outstanding lecture. Truly moved and inspired all of us. Just two rangkap of pantun, if you don't mind me, ya. Langkah berani, tekad membara, menungkah arus tiada gentar. Dari rock beginning lahirlah juara. Prof. Aizura, wira pinta wira kita. Langkah diatur dengan percaya dari permulaannya sukar hingga berjaya. Hari ini kita bersama meraihkannya. Kisah si determined dreamer yang luar biasa. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes today's inaugural lecture by Professor Dr. Aizura, Syafinaz, Ahmad, Adlan. Thank you very much for sharing this memorable afternoon with us. To commemorate this momentous event, we will now proceed to our photography session. May I invite Yang Berusaha, Professor Insinyur Dr. Karudin and Professor Dr. Aizura Syafinaz to take a step down. We're going to have a photo with the audience, all of you. Can you all also stand up for this photo session?
Gather in the center, at the center. Squeeze in. The kebaya one pun can masuk, the kebaya girls. Join the group photo.